the wax back hero. Got stars in his eyes. Wax hero. On the podcast tonight.
That theme is climbing the charts already.
I would hope so.
It is still second best is still holding up at number one, which is weird because we haven't played second best for quite a while, but still wildly popular. But Wax Pack's Heroes is climbing the charts.
Yep, that's a killer song. I mean, the vocals are not as good as the ones from second best, but they're good.
They're almost more professional.
Almost.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into Wax Pack's Heroes. If this is your first time, we'll go over the rules real quick here. I have got a Beckett Baseball Card Monthly here from 1992 with the cover boy Steve Avery, who single-handedly won me last week's Wax Pack's Hero. I have got two baseball packs here. Today we are opening Topps 1991. These are some of the older, younger cards we've ever opened here. We do have a couple of rules. One, if you have a mustache on the front of the card, you get an extra cent. And two, if you are a Hall of Famer, you get an extra 5 cents. We are using this 92 edition of Beckett because there's more prices to some of these cards that really have no value now. So that's why we do it. So Mark, I've let you choose the last couple of weeks. I'm on a 3 or 4 game win streak here. I'm going to let you choose once again. I've got two 91 Topps cards. Do you want left or right?
Well, I've been losing with the right card, so I'm going to go with it again. I mean,
Okay.
It can't go a streak forever, right? I mean, I'm not betting against Joe DiMaggio, I don't think.
All right. So you are going to go with the one on the right.
Yes.
Let's open this up. This is another actual wax pack. Last week we did get a full piece of gum intact. Today, first one is broken into a couple of pieces.
Bummer. It's not in mint condition.
Nope. All right. So start here. Got your junk card. All right. So we are starting off with somebody that we've talked about before on the show. It is Astros pitcher Jim, 2 silhouettes on Deshaies.
One of my all-time favorite pitchers.
Looks like he's in Wrigley Field. He has just released a pitch and looks like he's scared, like it's a comebacker. He's kind of hunched over. But I'm gonna guess that is probably not worth anything. Now this is. Today, there are so many cards here, it actually goes over to a second page, but there's only 2 cards there, and that's Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Greenwell. So we'll know that if we get either of those, I've got to flip the page. But Jim Deshaies is not wearing a mustache. I keep saying wearing, and I'm probably going to call their uniforms outfits, because that's apparently what I do.
Yeah, you have been doing that. Let me say something about Jim Deshaies. He's like one of the nicest human beings you could ever meet. And there were times when he was really unhittable. Just a great dude. And he's kind of forgotten about. He may be worth 0 cents in your book, but he's worth $1,000 in my heart, my friend.
That does not help you in Wax Pack's Heroes.
I thought I'd try.
Next, we have got Jamie Navarro,
Nice.
pitcher for the Brewers. I know he's a pitching coach somewhere now.
Yeah, I believe he is.
He is sporting a little mustache there in this, so that there's at least 1 point. But beyond that, he is not worth anything in the world of 1992 baseball cards. Next, we've got, all right, here is your Hall of Famer. He is wearing a mustache, as well as having grown one. At this point, he is with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is the one of only 5 players, and I did a little research today for some reason and looked at this. He is one of only 5 players in the top 50 list of players with the most hits in the history of baseball to be a switch hitter. He is a known grumpy man, Eddie Murray.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he was a heck of a hitter, though.
Yeah, well,
that guy could hit.
He is worth 3 cents in Beckett, 1 cent for the mustache, and 5 cents for being a Hall of Famer. That's 9 cents.
All right, I'm on the board.
You are. All right. Next, we have got. Now, I believe this guy ran into some trouble with the law recently. Here he is listed as a catcher, outfielder, third baseman for the New York Yankees, Mr. Jim Leyritz.
Frito Leyritz, yes. Kind of a hard-nosed player. I remember liking him for that.
I didn't mind him when he was a player, but like I said, I think he got into some problems with the law that were not wasn't shoplifting or anything. It was a little bit more serious. So
Was it loitering? Because that's an evil crime.
no, it was not.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have got an outfielder here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Remember this guy quite a bit, Glenn Allen Hill.
Yeah, Glenn Allen Hill. I remember him in Strat. For some reason, my buddy called him 10-gallon Hill. But
Is this the same guy they called Javi Lopez, Hector Lopez?
it's actually a different guy.
Oh, you've got some weird friends.
Oh, tell me
Weird
about it.
friends.
You're one of them.
Yeah, well, if they're weirder than me, then they are freaks. All right, so this guy, Glenn Allen Hill, I do not see a mustache there. So that is 0 cents. Next, we've got left-handed starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bob Patterson.
I do not remember him.
I remember him, but he's just kind of he's a common in the baseball card world, and his
mustache?
nickname is Cowboy, though, but no mustache.
Cowboy
You would
should
think
have a
with
mustache.
Absolutely. Next, we've got a pitcher for the Dodgers, clean-shaven Jim Neidlinger.
Neidlinger, yes.
Neidlinger? I don't know. Jim
Yeah.
there.
No, Neidlinger was, he was a Dodger, I think, his whole career. No. He signed with the Pirates.
Yeah. Well, he is worth 2 cents somehow.
Because he's Jim Neidlinger. Come on, man.
All right. So there, I have never heard that name in my life. Here is a guy that, boy, this guy was very good his entire career, a good hitter. Here he is listed as a third baseman. I remember him mainly at second for the Cleveland Indians, Carlos Baerga.
Carlos, you guess his nickname?
I don't know what Carlos Baerga's nickname
Carlos Cheese Baerga.
was. What? I
Cheese
don't know.
Baerga.
Oh, cheeseburger.
That's right, Cheese Baerga.
I had never heard that one. Well, Mr. Baerga is worth 2 cents, and he is sporting a stash. So that's a
Yes.
3-cent card.
Way to come through for me, Cheese.
Here is a Mariner catcher, Scott Bradley.
Sure, yeah, I remember Scott Bradley. He was kind of a backup. I don't remember a whole lot about him. I just remember him being a backup for. We're not talking about the composer, Scott Bradley. We're talking about the catcher, Scott Bradley, and I don't know how much memory I have of his career.
Did he back up Dave Valley? Who
I
was he
believe so.
backing up?
Let's see. So it would have been 80s. Yeah, Dave Valley.
Was Dave Valley? Did anybody ever call him Death Valley?
No, but that's not bad. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, I like Dave Valley. He's a real nice guy.
He's a great guy. His foundation, charitable foundation, is amazing.
All right, so this guy is steeped in World Series history. He is at this point playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. He is the guy that hit that little ball with the English down the first base line in the '86 World Series that went through Bill Buckner's legs, Mr. Mookie Wilson.
The Mookster, the original Mookie.
The original Mookie.
He of the clutch slow roller.
Yep. Now, I agree that I don't think even if Buckner fields that they get Mookie Wilson because, who was it? Calvin Schiraldi was on the mound? Or no. Yeah, it was. He did not break to cover first base, so I don't think they were going to get Mr. Mookie Wilson at first. But
Interesting side note.
Mookie Wilson is a common at this
Very common.
Here we go. A pitcher for the A's. This guy looks a lot like Dave Stewart. When I first saw this card, I thought it was Stu. He's wearing a mustache, but it is Reggie Harris.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Reggie Harris. Man, I'm trying to think. Who's he playing for in the card?
The A's.
Yeah, I know Reggie Harris. I didn't know him for a long time. But he had a, what did he have? He had I'm trying to remember the cars. This was a long time ago. But he had a BMW, and he didn't want to leave it in the parking lot when they went on road trips, so he'd give it to me, and I would park it at my house.
I think you told me about that. Yeah.
So for a while, every once in a while I'd have Reggie Harris's Beamer, and he let me use it, so that was cool.
Well, he is worth 2 cents, and he's got a nice mustache, so that's a
Right
30-cent
on.
card.
Reggie's still coming through for me.
Next, we've got, oh boy, this guy pitched forever. Here he is pitching for the Dodgers. I remember him mainly for the Cubs. Mike Morgan.
Oh, absolutely. Long career.
Yeah, now Mike Morgan is not worth anything, but this is the epitome of an 80s, even though this is a 91 card, this is the epitome of a fact about a baseball player on the back of a baseball card. Mike spends his offseason living log cabin style in the wilderness where he enjoys hunting and fishing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty typical.
That is every single major league player in the 80s. I like hunting and fishing.
Interesting
Ricky Henderson has that on the back of one of his cards, and I guarantee you, Ricky Henderson does not hunt and fish.
It's like you have to do it if you're a baseball player. If you're a veteran, you got to do it. Morgan actually pitched for 22 years.
Yeah, I remember he pitched forever. He hit some, and he's not even a lefty.
No, that's the crazy thing. He started when he was 18 years old in 1978. He missed 80 and 81 seasons as well as the 84 season. I think he was in the minors. But after that, he went straight from 85 through 2002.
Yeah, long career. Lucky guy.
Yeah.
Next, we've got pitcher for the Red Sox. I don't remember this guy, Rob Murphy.
Rob Murphy. Yeah, I'm not recalling that either.
He apparently pitched the middle 80s with the Reds and then a couple of years with the Red Sox.
A lefty, I believe, now that I think about it.
Yep.
He was around a while.
That's not worth anything, and no mustache. Next, we've got pitcher for the Brewers, Mark Knudson. Knudson, K-N-U-D. I think it's just Knudson. But
no clue.
I remember the name. Mark has also been employed as a sports writer in Denver.
Wow, I wonder if he wrote horrible things about himself.
He is sporting a mustache. The card is not worth anything. He, unfortunately, though, is wearing the fake stirrups. And this is right at 91. This is right around the time when these started to become real popular. That's disappointing.
Annoying.
That almost worth taking a cent away. Now, I think I remember this guy. Your final card is pitcher for the Reds, Tim Layana.
I have no idea even how to spell that. I don't know who that is.
Layana.
Yeah, not familiar.
I believe he came up and he was thought that he was going to kind of be part of the Nasty Boys. He was going to be one of those real, good relievers that they had. But he didn't really end up accounting for much.
Yeah. So you're saying he's a common?
He is the epitome of a common. He is not sporting a mustache, and you have finished your pack at 19 cents.
Maybe in trouble again.
That's pretty beatable, but we'll see. We'll see what we've got with my pack here.
You, sir, have been in fuego.
Now, I've been reading, as I've watched some other unpackings on YouTube, about wax packs in particular, that people go in and they open them, and they take the cards out and put other ones in there that aren't as good, and then reseal the wax and sell them. And I've noticed that a lot of these wax packs are very, very, they're not even sticking together in the back. So I'm wondering if that might account for some of our crappy cards.
Well, they can't reseal the Score ones, at least.
Well, that was why Score was a big deal when they came out, because you couldn't tamper with them.
Right.
You could see what the cards were. Oh, might be a good sign. I just pulled another intact stick of 1991 grade bubblegum.
Oh man, is it in mint condition?
It is. That's a very highly graded card. Piece of gum.
You're supposed to say no, Mark. It's flavored like bubblegum, not mint.
Well, I'm not going to taste it to find out. All right, so there's my junk card. Oh, here's we were just talking about him before we started the show. At this point, he's a catcher for the New York Yankees, Matt Noakes.
Matt Noakes, was he a switch hitter? For some reason, I was thinking
he is batting left here. And no, he's just a straight up left-handed, one of those left-handed hitting catchers that we like to talk about.
That must be why I remember him, because I'm a big fan of the left-handed hitting catcher.
Yeah, I know you are. But no mustache and no value. Next, we've got Melito Perez, and he's got that sweet Jerry curl going on.
Oh, nice.
Does have a mustache. Here he's pitching for the White Sox.
Yeah, he was a White Sox pitcher. I remember him a little bit because of the interesting name, Melito.
We're counting that. He was a rookie in 1975.
Oh, my.
He played for a long time.
He was an all-around pretty good hitter, is what I remember about him. You know, I don't know if he hit 300 lifetime, but I guarantee you he didn't hit no 220.
He hit 300 2 years.
There you go.
Lifetime of 273. Did have some power, slugging of 442 for his lifetime.
Nice.
But that is only worth 1 cent for the mustache. Here we go. Here's somebody that I've got plenty of rookie cards of. For the New York Mets, Mr. Greg Jeffries.
Greg Jeffries, the ultimate card in 1988. You bought Donruss packs to try and land this up-and-coming star, Greg Jeffries, who ended up not being a superstar, but had a pretty darn good career.
Yeah, he had a good, long career. I remember he went on with the Cardinals as well, and he had huge forearms.
He did, yeah.
I remember he used to, in the offseason, he would take a bat in a swimming pool and just swing underwater, and that helped him build up his strength.
That's a lot of resistance. That makes sense.
That is worth 2 cents. Now, this card's probably not going to be worth anything, but it is my favorite catcher of all time. Somebody that you have had dinner with, and
I know who you're talking about.
Minnesota native.
Yes,
Mr. Terry Steinbach.
One of my favorite catchers of all time, without question. Cool guy.
So yeah, that card is not worth anything. He never sported a mustache, but gosh darn it, Terry Steinbach, you're one of my favorites.
He's a legend.
Next, we got pitcher for the Chicago White Sox, Barry Jones.
Barry Jones.
I remember the name, but don't remember anything about him. He's a common, but he does have a mustache.
There you go. Got a point there, man.
Here we go. Another member of the Oakland Athletics, recently named the bench coach for Joe Madden in the Angels, Mike Gallego. Mike Gallego. Let go, Gallego. That is a common. The Ricky Henderson card in this set is only worth 5 cents. So I don't think we don't have much value coming up.
There may be a few of them out there.
Mike Gallego not sporting a mustache in this picture. Here we go. This is a sideways card. You got to turn it sideways to see it. Mike Jeffcoat, lefty for the Rangers.
I remember him pitching against the Mariners, but I don't remember a whole lot about him. I don't even know if he was a lefty or righty or whatever.
He's a lefty. I remember the name because it had Jeff in it.
Sure.
But no mustache, no value. We've spoken about this guy before, and this is a good card. Jose Uribe, shortstop for the Giants.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
This is a great card because he is playing defense. It's at Wrigley Field, and sliding in to try to break up a double play is Mr. Ryan Sandberg.
Oh, that is a great card.
That is a good-looking card right there. Probably not worth anything. Nope. And I can't tell if Juan Uribe's got a mustache or not, but that's the best looking card we've seen today because of Rhino right there. Oh boy, here we go. Tom Candiotti, knuckleballer for the Cleveland Indians.
Tom Cotton Candiotti. Very nice.
I believe he was in Moneyball. I think he might have been on the A's at that point, or he played somebody on another team. But I believe he did some acting in some baseball movies where they needed some guys.
Yeah, I know he played for the A's a couple seasons. I remember him mostly as a Dodger.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I remember him most as well. But no mustache, no value. But he had he's a knuckleballer, so he was around forever.
Through forever.
Oh, now this card... Okay, now this is very topical too. Outfielder for this San Diego Padres legend, Joe Carter.
Yes, back with the Padres back then.
Yeah, I mean, this had to be right before he was traded to the Blue Jays.
Joe Carter, one of the most clutch home runs of all time.
With Ricky Henderson on second base. So Joe Carter is worth 3 cents. He has a thin mustache. I think that's a mustache that I see on him. I'm gonna call that because he usually had a mustache. So that's a 2 cent card plus the mustache is 3 cents.
You know, Joe Carter almost hit 400 home runs. He was 4 short.
Oh,
so, awesome
Joe
dude.
Carter. Now, I want to talk about this card because this is when the Padres were wearing their brown uniforms. And the Padres just unveiled their new brown uniforms for next year.
Yeah.
And I was excited because I love the Browns, but they're using the pinstripes. And I had a hard time remembering what the old pinstripes look like, but here it is. And it looks very similar to what they'll be wearing next year. So look out for those pinstripes coming back. Next, I've got 4 cards left. We've got outfielder for the New York Mets, Daryl Boston.
Yeah, I remember Daryl Boston.
Yeah, I do too. He's sporting a mustache, but that is the only value I will get out of that. Let's see what I'm at now. I am at 9 cents with 3 cards left to go.
Oh, man. Can I hold the lead?
Next, we've got left-handed pitcher for the Cardinals, Joe Magrane. Remember that name?
Yeah, I remember Joe Magrane.
That card is not worth anything, and I don't believe Joe's got a mustache. Nope. Boy, I swear we talk about this guy almost every single Wax Packs Heroes. The man with the cannon from right field, Jesse Barfield.
Oh, one of my all-time favorites. Gotta love Jesse.
Now, here he is in a Yankees uniform here, and, you know, I know we like to make fun of the Yankees, but I think they're pinstripe uniforms, and especially for some reason, even though theoretically they're not any different, in the 80s and 90s, I thought their uniforms they look better than they do today.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you.
It's a good looking card. This is the way a baseball player should look in a uniform.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's see, 85. That is not worth anything. He does have a mustache as usual. So I've got 1 cent now. Unless this last card is worth 9 or 10 cents, which I doubt it's going to be.
It'll be
You're
tough.
going to win this. But it is Teddy Higuera.
Oh, yeah. I remember Teddy Higuera.
Now, I want to say Teddy Higuera has thrown a no-hitter. I don't know why.
That sounds familiar. I mean, I remember he's a Brewer, right?
Correct.
And a lefty.
Correct.
Did he throw a no-hitter, though? You know what? I have the internet machine here.
Why don't you look that up?
Let's see.
I can tell you he is not worth anything and he has no mustache. So I have ended my run with a 10 cent total.
All right. I'm not seeing a no-hitter, but for some reason I thought that.
Yeah, I thought he had done something. I think maybe I know he was a pitching coach, and it might have been with the Brewers. I'm not sure who it was, but so that wraps it up. So you come away with the win. I'm just looking through our cards here, putting the best ones. Your Eddie Murray, I think, is the one that really put you over the top. I got the 2 best looking cards with the Juan Uribe with Rhino sliding and the Jesse Barfield, but you got the most value. So looking at the final score, you came up with a total of 19. I came up with a total of 10. And then looking at the overall scoreboard, now I'm not sure if I got the score right. According to my records here, it is now 7-7, but I believe I am actually up 8-7.
I think you're up 8-7, yeah.
All right, so let me do that again.
By the way, I found it. Teddy Higuera did throw a no-hitter in 1987.
Look at that. I didn't want to have to...
There was a 2-out triple play to get the only run.
a 2-out triple play to get a run? What?
No, I'm sorry. This thing, that's what it says. I think it means to end an inning. Maybe this isn't the best website.
Well, a 2-out triple play. So there were 2 outs, but they turned a triple play anyway.
Look, I can read it to you, man. It's right here. I think the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's being a he's maybe
Was it
just
maybe a
not
2-out triple scored the
No.
only run?
It says triple play. I don't know. Probably wrong.
Well, there you have it. So the final score with that victory, you have inched closer to me right now. The final tally reads Jeff 8, Mark 7.
So we're battling it out. It's going to be an annual thing, right?
I think we're just going to keep going, probably.
We're not going to have
162. 162.
Okay. Wow. That's going to. We better hope we stay on the air for that long.
No, who's going to cancel us?
That's a good point. We don't have a boss. Yeah, good point.
All
We
right,
don't live
so
by ratings.
so that'll do it for another edition of Wax Packs Heroes. I'd like to remind you that we are on social media. If you want to follow us, you can find us both on Twitter and Instagram at 2StrikeNoise. That is at TWO Strike Noise.
Gonna pull a wax pack hero. Got stars in his eyes. Wax pack hero. Gonna pull a wax pack hero. Got stars in his eyes. Wax pack hero. On a podcast tonight.